Today's episode of the Bill Simmons podcast is brought to you by SeatGeek. That's our presenting sponsor since 1977. SeatGeek will help you find the best tickets for sporting events, music, wrestling, opera, you name it. For instance, March Madness coming up next week. I can't think of a smarter, easier way to get tickets to these games than SeatGeek. I've had SeatGeek on my phone for 2 years. It's by far the easiest way I've found to shop for the best tickets, thanks to their revolutionary grading system. Buy and sell tickets in just 2 taps on your phone. Everything fully guaranteed. To try it out, download the SeatGeek app or go right to SeatGeek.com. We are also brought to you by 2 new Ringer podcasts that aren't actually new because they got spun off from Channel 33 in their own podcast feeds. The Masked Man Show and Achievement Oriented. If you love professional wrestling, subscribe to The Masked Man Show and listen to The Ringer's David Shoemaker break down the latest WWE storylines, pay-per-views, and more with a rotating cast of characters. And we have WrestleMania coming up, and we just had a very controversial Fastlane pay-per-view on Sunday night. So you're going to want to listen to his thoughts on that. Get ready for WrestleMania, which has a chance to either underachieve or overachieve. I think expectations are actually low. Also, if you love video games, subscribe to Achievement Oriented as hosts Ben Lindbergh and Jason Concepcion have the best and smartest conversations about video games. That's the Masked Man Show and Achievement Oriented, available now for subscribers on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Overcast FM, and anywhere else you get your podcasts. And finally, we have Isaiah Thomas coming up. We taped this last Friday before the Celtics beat the Lakers and before they had one of the 5 worst losses in Celtics history that were not a playoff loss. I'm just dumbfounded. I actually went on a YouTube rabbit hole last night trying to figure out if there was ever a worse regular season Celtics loss. The ones I can remember, Grant Hill threw an alley-oop to Lindsey Hunter with like 3 seconds left on the clock when ML Carr was the coach, and it tied the game. And it was the first time I think anyone had ever seen the alley-oop play. It was right after they had switched the clock from 1 second to actually the 1/10 of a second situation. And that was during one of the lottery seasons. I remember that one being terrible. Magic hit a running bank shot to win a game in the Boston Garden. That was really horrendous. Vince Carter, fall-away three-pointer during like his first or second year in the Garden, right when the Patino era was falling apart. I remember that one being horrendous. And then this was the one that I think was number 1 for me, and it's random. Nick Van Exel. The last year of the Boston Garden, Celtics are, they're going to be an 8 seed. They're not going to make the finals or anything. Last time the Lakers play in the Boston Garden, up 1, like 2 seconds left, Nick Van Exel hits a fall-away 28-footer to win the game, and that was the last Lakers-Celtics game in the Garden. The Lakers won because of that garbage shot by Nick Van Exel. I still hate him for it. I think that was the number 1 until the Celtic game, where basically the game was over 17 times, and somehow they blew it. Fumble away, ridiculous 3. It almost reminded me of those old commercials that they used to show in the 80s. It was like the Fantastic Finishes, NBA is Fantastic commercial that are still on YouTube. It's awesome. The best one was this one, Jeff Malone on the Washington Bullets hit, somebody threw a pass in the left corner, and he ran down, chased it, full speed, set his feet, and just flung up a 3, and it went in, and they won. It's the greatest shot anyone's ever made in the history of the NBA. But anyway, that sun shot that the Kentucky kid hit yesterday, wow. I really hope that's not the difference between a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 seed for the Celtics, because that's one of the worst losses, non-playoffs, ever in the history of the franchise. Anyway, Isaiah Thomas coming up. It's about 50 minutes. And then right after that, we have Shea Serrano coming on, because I saw John Wick 2 over the weekend, and it was unbelievable. And there's a bunch of sub-conversations springing out of it, including, should I have taken my son to it? My son is 9. Should I have taken my son to John Wick 2? Am I a horrible parent? Guess what? Shea took his twins to John Wick 2. So we're going to talk about horrible parenting and where Keanu... how long he's had the Action Hero Championship belt, what's going to happen in John Wick 3, all that stuff. So spoilers galore. But if you care about John Wick, at the end of this Isaiah Thomas interview, which is really interesting, get ready for that. All right, here we go. Eddie Vedder. It's late Thursday afternoon taping this with Isaiah Thomas, all-star, Celtics point guard. Last night you were in Boston, Massachusetts.
Yes, sir.
You played the Cavaliers of Cleveland.
Yeah.
You guys won the game. You hit a couple big shots.
It's a good game. It was a great game.
LeBron hadn't lost in Boston in like 4 years.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Boston crowd doesn't like LeBron because he bitches for calls all the time.
Yeah,
they don't like that.
I guess they don't.
They don't like that.
They announced his name and it was all booze.
He broke some hearts too. The 2012, which was like the last run of KG, Paul, and Ray, and 3-2 lead Eastern Finals. LeBron, that was the game, best game of his life.
Yeah,
broke the crowd.
He didn't smile or nothing. He was like, he had a look in his eye. I remember that game.
He broke the crowd. You seem like you're getting more of an edge as this season goes along. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fair.
All right. What's the reason?
I'm just tired of the doubt.
Tired of the doubt? You've been doing great.
I mean, I don't know. I know I got to win. I got to win more. I got to get further in the playoffs for, I guess, people to lay off. But I'm just.
Who are the people? Let's walk through this.
There's still people
Is this
out
all the
there
stuff like you can't play defense? Your defensive rating is bad.
Exactly. There's still people out there that have doubt and say, I guess, negative things. But I mean, I want to win and I want to be one of the best to play. So I'm gonna just keep going.
So the defense stuff that always gets brought up with you.
It does, because
I mean, you are 5'9".
Yeah, but it's a thing to where like it's always been, if a guy hits a shot over me, he's a defensive liability. If he hits a shot over a guy that's 6'1", that was just good offense. It's
right.
Like, it's always something. That's where I'm trying to get to.
My defense when people throw this at me is that the point is to win the fourth quarter and win the game. And when you're on the floor, the offense is always going to be better than whatever happens on the defense.
Yes.
So that's the advantage.
I guess so.
It is what it is, right?
It is what it is.
If you're scoring and you're playing at this really, really high level, both statistically and just with the points you're creating per possession, stuff like that, that's still worth whatever else is going on.
I mean, as long as we win the game, like you said, that's all that matters.
I've noticed a couple things with you. One is you're definitely, I mean, not that you always had a chip on your shoulder, which we'll talk about, but it's definitely, the chip's growing bigger. I can see it. But then also, teams are getting more physical with you.
Yeah, they are. Especially.
I noticed this with Steph Curry last year. The book all of a sudden was out on Steph Curry. Like, just chip him, bang him. He's coming around picks, throwing elbow, throw knee. So when did that start? It started last few weeks, last month?
Probably the last month.
Yeah.
And it's getting more physical in the fourth quarter. I mean, teams are trying to do, I guess, everything they can to slow me down in the fourth quarter. And one thing they're doing is they're being more physical with me. I mean, they're hitting me off screens. They're making sure I hit the ground every time I hit the paint or things like that. So I just, like any, I guess, player, you just got to adjust. You just got to figure out what they're doing and do something else.
Well, my fear is you're going to punch somebody.
I'm not.
Okay, good. Don't punch anyone. Because first of all, you break your hand, you get suspended.
And then that's going to cost you some money. So I don't like to give back any money.
Yeah, because there's been a couple times I could see the red coming out of your eyes.
I gotta hold back a little bit because I know what guys are trying to do.
Have you been in a basketball fight ever?
When I was younger, yeah.
Not high school, college? No sanctioned game?
No. I didn't want to get suspended the next day. And, nowadays, they're breaking it up anyway.
Yeah, Jalen always called it the hold me back fight.
Yeah.
Hold me back!
That's what it is for sure.
You had a good one, though, last week when you came flying in with the finger point. I was like, oh, God. Somebody get in his way.
They thought I was pointing a gun.
Yeah, what was that?
I was just pointing.
You were just mad.
With two fingers, and they wanted to blow it up to more than it was. But I was upset. I was upset with him pushing me.
My fear with you since the day that the Celtics acquired you, this is my favorite team, I've never seen anybody go into the lane and get bounced in more different, like you're going into the basket support, you're falling, you're going sideways. I always think you're going to like break your wrist or whatever, but you've clearly learned how to fall. You're like a stunt man. So when did that start?
I guess when I was younger, because I always been the smallest guy on the court. I always been the guy that goes in the paint and gets knocked down. So I had to figure out a way to withstand all that. And I mean, there's some times where it hurts more than others, but for the most part, I guess I'm pretty good at falling.
Was it last year when you got hurt?
Yeah, that was my
Or 2 years ago?
2 years ago when I got traded. That was the worst fall I've ever had. So that was.
What was that one?
Against the Miami Heat.
Yeah. Hassan Whiteside?
Dwayne Wade.
Yeah. Oh, Dwayne Wade.
Yeah, that was it.
You know his history with the Celtics.
Yeah.
He's taken out a bunch. He broke Rondo's elbow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why when he comes to Boston, he gets booed too. The Celtic fans remember all that stuff.
I know.
Yeah, so the stuntman thing, that's like you're playing pickup.
Yeah,
you're 12, 13, guys knocking you down.
Me playing with older guys when I was younger and always getting knocked down. I had to figure out a way to fall the right way, I guess you could say, and get back up.
When did you learn you have so many different moves on the drives. When did you learn the little step back in the paint? Because it seems like that's gotten better in the last year.
That's just something I guess I figured out by watching film. I might have did it on accident one time or a few times, and then it was a move that was effective. And the last few summers, I just started to work on it more and more, and it's a move that gets me separation. And with me being small, all I need is a little bit of separation to get my shot off or to make a play for somebody else, and those are the things I try to work on.
Because people always ask me, like, did you know Isaiah was going to score 30 points a game? Like, you're watching all these games, and it's like the two things that seem different, one is that shot in the paint, which I don't feel like you had mastered yet until this year, the little blooper shot.
Yeah.
It's like basically unstoppable because you're falling back.
Yeah.
It's a little like, even though you're like 15 inches smaller than him, the Dirk shot. When Dirk started to master that little foul line fall away,
it was
you just create like that 1 inch. But then the other thing, you probably don't want to talk about this, but they don't call you for the right-handed push-off anymore because you're a star now. They used to call you for that.
Yeah, I guess
they used to call you for the shove-off.
They give me those now.
You get the all-star respect.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like it, but I guess now that you say that, they
you get it now.
Don't call it.
And then you have long arms, and I think big guys always forget. They always forget who's left-handed.
Yeah, that's a
big advantage.
That's a big advantage, guys. Even for myself, guarding a left-handed guy, it's tough to guard because you're so used to guarding right-handed players.
Especially you get tired.
Yeah.
I used to hate when I'm retired now, but when I used to play lefties, especially like if you're on like your fourth or fifth game or second hour playing, you just kind of forget and they're going by you.
Yeah.
And then you'll come on the right sometimes, but you got the long arm. You can do the reverse layups, which the big guys never see coming every time. They always think you're going, because you're shorter, you're going right to the closer side of the rim and you go under.
I just try to maneuver around them.
What about the 3-point shot? That's just practice because you're definitely
just repetition. I worked on my shot a lot this summer. I mean, I do every summer, but this year I worked on a lot of off the dribble threes and getting to my shot quicker when I have a live dribble. So I know most of my points and most of my shots come off not catch and shoot, but most of them come off me handling the ball or coming off pick and roll and shooting. So I worked a lot on that, and I wanted to raise my shooting percentages and become more efficient, and luckily that's happened this year.
Can you tell the difference between a heat check and this is just what you do?
I'm probably the deeper the shot. If I hit 2 in a row, that third one's going in.
From 30?
The other team knows it, so I gotta shoot it a little deeper.
Yeah. So the Celtics acquired you. It was like a fluke.
It was.
You somehow end up in Phoenix, and they have multiple point guards. And it was one of those things like every year one NBA team tries something, and you know it's not going to work. Even before the season starts, you're like, what are they? Like Orlando was like that this year. It's like, we're getting all these big guys, and we're going to play Aaron Gordon at the 3. And it's like, that's not going to work. And then now that's like, oh, Aaron Gordon's a 4. We should, But when they did that with the point guards in Phoenix, and you have you and Dragic and Bledsoe, and you're all out there at the same time. I'm not against the small ball thing because you guys do it with Marcus and Avery sometimes, or Rozier. But all you guys need the ball.
All of us. It sounded good.
Yeah.
When they, I guess, presented it, it sounded good, but it didn't work. Like you said, all of us needed the ball to be effective. I mean, I could play off the ball a little more than those two guys, but for the same thing, everybody needed the ball to be who they were, and it just didn't work.
Why do you think it didn't work out in Sacramento? Because I've heard I can give you all the reasons I've actually heard.
give them to me.
I've heard that the stars that were there at the time wanted a point guard who was more pass first. You agree with that or disagree?
I've heard that.
Yeah. I've heard that they just underestimated you because they weren't very competent.
That too.
And I heard that they just wanted to get like somebody like Darren Collison and not.
Yeah, they didn't want me. I mean, that's what it came down to.
But you played well for them though.
That's the part I don't get. Pretty well, and especially that last year I was there with Coach Mike Malone. He was a big fan of mine, and he was a big supporter of mine. But it was every year they were bringing somebody else in to somewhat replace me or send me to the bench and me have a bench role. And I outplayed whoever they brought in every year, and then it came to a point where it was like, you guys are obviously you don't want me.
Right.
Or you don't want me to outplay whoever you bring in, and that's not me. I mean, I love competition, and if I feel like I'm better than somebody, I'm gonna show you how I feel.
So when the Celtics made that trade, I didn't know enough about the situation. I'm like, was he like a head case there? Like, so, go on the internet, start Googling stuff, going on message boards, and all the Kings fans liked you.
Yeah, the King, the
city, they were all like, why? We don't know why we traded this guy.
The city, the fans, the community, they loved me since day one. They welcomed me with open arms, and it was tough when I did leave. Like the city, they heard about it. I mean, they told them how they felt, and then it was just something I had to move on. It was a battle I was fighting that they obviously wanted somebody else, which that is fine.
So you go to Phoenix, then you end up in the Celtics, and you get kicked out of the first game.
First game.
Which I think was in Phoenix, right?
No, the
in
first game
LA, yeah.
He was playing the Lakers.
Yeah.
First game, it was probably, I think it was like 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. We was playing pretty well. They gave me a double T.
I remember it was a quick one.
Quick one.
Yeah.
I remember the referee, the next time we seen him, he apologized because it was too quick. It was like, I don't have the reputation of arguing or getting technicals, and then I got thrown out, and I remember going in the back, and Brian Dew, our strength coach, is like, Celtics fans are gonna love you. And I thought that people were gonna be mad at me. I'm man, this is my first game, they're gonna kill me.
Yeah.
He's like, they are gonna love you, and I didn't understand why until I got to the Garden and was able to play.
There's some dudes on the Celtic team that tap into things that Boston fans love.
Yes.
I think Marcus is a great example. The casual Celtic fans, Marcus.
The casual fan, though, with Marcus.
That's what I mean. Casual fan doesn't get it. The fans that actually watch the games, Marcus is our dude.
He's amazing.
Love that guy. He always makes one play. He can be 0 for 15. He made it yesterday, took a charge in the Cavs game.
2 of them.
Yeah.
Back to back.
Yeah. It's always something. A rebound in traffic.
It's
got to steal.
You can't ever underestimate him. He's always going to surprise you in some way.
Is he talk the most on the team on the court, or do you have the title?
He's somewhat quiet.
Yeah?
I mean, he talks, but for the most part, he doesn't talk unless somebody's talking.
Since somebody gets going?
Yeah. Or he got to stop somebody, then he'll start talking a little bit.
It seems like you guys annoy people. You have a lot of mini feuds. The Celtics team.
I mean, I annoy people on the offensive end. Smart and Avery and Jay, they annoy people on the defensive end.
Yeah.
We're just that team that's kind of been counting out our whole career. Like every individual guy has been counting out at some point in their career. And
chip on the shoulder team.
On the shoulder.
Yeah. But let's see, Washington. That's a feud now.
Yeah.
That's a feud. 7-game series against Washington, I think
that would be a good one.
That would be a good one. Toronto, I don't feel like there's a lot of love there.
There isn't. That would be a good one.
Atlanta, that's been written about, there's no love.
Yeah, we need that.
There's
back.
the point guard. There's point guard. He said, she said stuff with
he's lying.
The German guy. Yeah. Whatever. Houston, that was a good one.
That was. We got a few teams.
The only two times a year, but that was.
Yeah, but that was a good. That was
both
a good
times stuff's happened. Yeah.
So we got a few teams that we battle against.
Clippers, I feel like, could get there. You play them Monday.
Yeah.
Because the Clippers, nobody gets along with them. So it's like your destiny.
Nobody really likes
Blake.
guys.
Blake's kind of almost like belongs to the Celtics because he rubs everyone the wrong way for some reason. Why do some players do that?
I don't know.
Because I have Clipper season tickets, even though I'm a Celtic fan. But I'm always amazed by the other teams just go out of their way to try to antagonize Blake. There's certain guys that try to get in their heads.
I don't know. 'Cause I don't got to guard them, but
Yeah.
I mean, I watch a lot of basketball, and I see the guys be going at them.
Go at him big time. So you have a 5-game road trip.
Yeah, big road trip.
What's your process on a road trip?
Take it one game at a time. Try to attack every game.
What do you do on the road?
I
Go to movies?
Yeah,
hang out?
I try to. I mean, I go to movie theater across the street. I might go to something tonight, but for the most part, I be in my room. I got League Pass on my.
You got League Pass in your
computer.
iPad?
Yeah,
computer?
on my computer. I watch that, and then when they got national TV games, I'm a fan of the game. I love watching all.
So you're studying? Are you studying people, or are you just
Studying
watching as a fan?
and watching.
So who are your favorite teams this year?
My
To
favorite
watch.
team, I mean, the Warriors are always fun to watch.
Right.
Warriors. I got friends on the Clippers, so I watch them. But like I said, I like to watch everybody.
The Warriors, huh? You guys match up pretty well with them.
Yeah.
The weirdest thing about this Celtics team is they can hang with the Warriors and the Cavs, who are the two toughest teams, and you guys match up well with Cleveland.
Yeah, we usually play well.
And then
against-
there's other teams that aren't as good of a matchup, but
and then we
yeah, like I
win.
think Washington. I need to see a Celtics victory
Yeah,
over
we
Washington.
haven't played.
You need to play well against them.
We played well one time at home, but we haven't played well on the road against those guys.
Big back, but they have backcourt with size. They have a small Porter's playing really well.
Yeah, he's hitting
Gortat's
shots.
killed the Celtics since he was on Orlando.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
They play well. They get up against us too, so we just gotta.
Yeah, but
I think we play them one more time, maybe. We gotta
are
get.
they going to dress in all black for that one? You think?
I hope they do. I hope they.
I
do.
was against that. I thought that was lame.
Yeah, that
Come
was
on.
uncalled for.
What are
but-
we, like a junior high?
But that's, I guess, what they wanted to do.
This is good. You guys are becoming like the villains of the league.
Yeah, nobody likes playing against us though. I mean, we play hard. So
Right.
like, NBA teams, they're most of them are a little casual. We play, we get down and dirty. I mean, we got guys that don't care.
Who's your favorite guy to go against?
In the NBA,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I always
You don't
like
wanna-
the big games. I mean, I like going against Cleveland. I like playing against the Warriors. Those are the games the whole world is watching. So.
Yeah, but all right. I'm going to get this answer out of you, even though you're being political.
Okay, I like playing against guys I'm friends with. So the Seattle guys, Jamal Crawford, when Nate Robinson
All right,
was
now
in the
we're
league,
talking. That was going to be my
Jason
first
Terry,
guess.
He's older, but he still plays for the Bucks. Like I like playing against friends. So even Chris Paul, he's a good friend of mine. I like going against guys I'm close with.
Who were the point guards drafted ahead of you in your draft? Let's go there. I bet one of those guys is on the list.
I mean, Kyrie was number one. Norris Cole was drafted ahead of me.
I'm amazed you can't rattle this off. I would have thought you would be able to rattle off all 59.
I really don't care about it no more. But
I don't believe that.
there's a lot of people guards that was drafted, a few guards drafted ahead of me that aren't even in the NBA no more. So
We'll be back to the Isaiah Thomas interview in 1 second. First, I want to tell you about the blacktux.com. They've made looking great for a wedding or a special event the easiest that it's ever been. With high-quality rental suits and tuxedos delivered to your doorstep, the Black Tux is giving guys a new way to rent. The Black Tux offers free home try-on so you can see the fit and feel the quality of the suit months before your event. The best part, it's completely done online. No trips to the tux shop required, no creepy tailors breathing all over you. TheBlackTux.com lets you create your look or choose from tons of stylish selected outfits starting at just $95. They're modern, made from fine Italian wool, absolutely the highest quality in the rental market. Any issues, and their expert customer care team will have your back every step of the way. My daughter made fun of me this weekend in the car that I was bad at these reads, and it really hurt my feelings, and now I think she's in my head. After ordering, your suit will arrive 14 days before your event. That's a full 2 weeks to try it on and make sure everything fits. And if anything is less than perfect, the Black Tux will send you a free replacement right away. After you're done, drop your rental back in the mail. It's that easy. Shipping is free both ways. Seriously, it's that easy. Get started right now. Visit theblacktux.com/BS to get $20 off your purchase. Experience a new way to rent tuxedos. Again, that's theblacktux.com/BS. Back to Isaiah Thomas. So do you have the Seattle championship belt right now for players? The Washington area?
No, that I mean,
Who
probably
is it? Well, you made the All-Star team. Did any other Washington guys make the
Right.
All-Star team?
They didn't.
You
but
had the championship belt. That's it.
It's still
you won
going,
it.
It's still
You got to make it.
Jamal Crawford and Jason Terry are still the.
I'd see Jamal Crawford at All-Star weekend.
You're right. I mean, they haven't been All-Stars, but Jason Terry's won an NBA championship, Sixth Man of the Year award.
He's my age.
You're right, and he's still in the NBA. I got to pay homage to my older
All due
guys.
respect, I get it. You got to email Jamal Crawford and was like, I did Simmons' podcast. He reminds me that I have the Seattle championship belt because I made the All-Star team.
Maybe soon. I get it.
How many years? Jamal's like what? 6, 7 years older than you.
No. I'm 20. I just turned 28.
Jamal's like 35 now.
He's
yeah.
36, so he's 8 years older than me.
He's really one of the original heat check guys.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Every shot's a heat check.
So when was the first time you played against him? You must have idolized him.
Probably when I was 14 or 15 when I first met him and got to play against him and build a relationship with him, and it's been good ever since. So I've seen him. I mean, he's a legend back home.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Everybody wants to be like Jamal Crawford back home.
Where do we stand on Markelle Fultz?
Number one.
Does he
pick.
count as a Washington guy?
Yeah, he lives.
He's
there
not
now.
from there though,
he's
right?
Not there now. He's from DC, I think. But yeah, he's special. Number one pick for sure.
How many Washington games do you watch? As when you can?
When I can, he's special.
I've watched a few because I don't know if you're aware of this, but the Celtics might have a high draft pick.
Yeah, and if they get him, go get him.
Yeah.
Go get him.
He does some stuff.
When I played with him this summer, when he first got on campus and I first played with him, like after we played with him, I'm like, he's an NBA player. Like he has it.
He has it.
He has it. He's special.
The thing the point guard position has really evolved over the last 20 years, right? Because everyone does this AAU circle now.
Yeah.
And whoever really has the ball from the get-go, that guy has the ball all the time. Like 25 years ago, I think he's a two guard.
Yeah.
They just try to turn him now in Houston. But now people see somebody like him and they're like, well, he should have the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
But it does seem like we're headed toward a world where there's going to be too many point guards. Even the Celtics have 3 guys who are technically point guards.
It probably is. I mean, everybody, they're making everybody a point guard.
Yeah, or at least somebody who can be a creator.
Yeah, like the best, most likely the best player who can create and score is the point guard.
Right. But it seems like we're going to see less Klay Thompson types as we keep evolving.
Yeah, probably.
The guy who's like, you know what I'm going to do? You guys dribble. I'm just going to run around screens and get me the ball.
Nobody wants to do that.
Because nobody's going to get that. You're not going to get the ball.
Yeah, nobody wants to do that. But if I could shoot like Klay Thompson, I would want to do that. Make it easy as possible.
The Washington thing. Jamal Crawford, Jason Terry, you. There's like 2 other guys, though, we didn't mention.
Zach LaVine.
Zach LaVine.
Marvin Williams, Spencer Hawes. Our list has gotten shorter the last few years, but
I wonder, do you think the fact that the Sonics...
Avery Bradley.
Thought he's from Washington?
Yeah, we're from the same neighborhood, Tacoma, Washington.
Oh, I knew this. You guys knew each other from way back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got a few guys.
Did you care about the Sonics?
Yeah, I love the Sonics. Hopefully,
how do we get them back?
Adam Silver. Hopefully he...
I think it's going to happen in the next 3 years.
Too.
I think there's a big expansion team.
I hope. Everybody I talk to that's been around the NBA, they always say they missed that Seattle trip.
I was thinking if it was like a Seattle, Vancouver,
either or.
If both of those came back, then that's like
I've never been to Vancouver, but they say it's
beautiful. I know people who worked in the league. They said like losing Vancouver and Seattle was like a tragedy for the road trips. Like that was like the best. It's like a 5-year stretch where that was like the best road trip. Was
because there's a few road trips that.
What happens when you go back now?
I live there in the summer, so
yeah,
it's all love.
Yeah, but now you're more famous than you were a year ago, 2 years ago.
I'm definitely more famous. That Boston thing has gotten me a lot more famous. So
yeah, 17 titles. It's a famous franchise.
Exactly.
They're on TV a lot.
So they know me everywhere now.
Yeah. So what happens? People treat you differently?
I mean, they do. They ask for autographs, pictures. I mean, I'm like before I got to Boston, if you were like a real fan of mine, you would know who I am if I'm walking the street.
Yeah.
But like a average person I blend in with everybody, so I don't look like a basketball player. But now it's like it's hard to walk places. A lot of people know who I am, and that's
Yeah. But you like that though.
That's from being in Boston.
But you can blend in too, which is the good thing.
I could
just
blend
put
in.
a hat on,
I
nobody would even
blend
notice.
in. I know how to make it work, but a lot more people notice me than before I was a Celtic.
When do you think the Boston fans fell in love? Because it's crazy now. Because, I grew up there and I still have friends there, and they were somewhere when you started going on your December streak, it started to creep toward and then all of a sudden something snapped. And now it's like the jerseys are everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's starting to happen.
It's been love since I've gotten here, but it's crazy now. Like it is. Sometimes in the games, I just sit back and look. And I'm like, man, this is what you dream of. Like, as a little boy, kids wearing your jerseys, adults wearing your jersey, and then like when they chant MVP when I'm at the free throw line, it doesn't even seem real. And I'm just trying to stay in the moment right now. I appreciate all the love, but like without my teammates and Brad giving me the opportunity to be who I am, it wouldn't be no me right now. Or it wouldn't be where the level it is right now.
Did All-Star throw you off at all? So that could be a whirlwind. You have to do the Saturday, you could do the Sunday. I read that you didn't sleep one of those days.
All-Star's fun. It's just a lot. It's
a
lot. You got appearances, you got events you got to go to, and then the last thing you're worried about is the game. That's the crazy thing.
Right.
Before you go, you think you're going to be worried about the game, but you have so many other things you have to do before the game, and that's like the last thing on your mind.
Well, the good thing is none of the players in the game really care about the game anymore, so it's not like.
I wish that would change. I hope that changes in the
What do we have to do?
I don't know.
I think
when I watched All-Star games growing up, you knew when the end of the third quarter, fourth quarter, it got serious. Guys were trying to win.
Yes.
And the last 2 years I've been in it, it's been like just getting cardio, just going up and down.
What's weird to me is, let's say you played in a pickup game in Washington, and there was like 10 NBA players in the game. All of you would try harder than
it would
the
be
All-Star
harder.
game.
It would be. I think if maybe if LeBron went hard, everybody else would follow suit, because they'd be like, dang, if he's going hard,
right,
we gotta go hard. I think that was the thing with, not to put it on LeBron, I just know everybody watches what
you
LeBron
follow the
does.
alpha dog. Yeah.
Like if Kobe went hard, everybody had to.
Right.
Same thing with Michael Jordan.
Westbrook's over there going, I'm always going to go hard. I don't care what you guys are doing.
He has one motor. So
I can't scale it back.
Yeah, he don't know how to be cool. But I think if those type of guys went hard for a certain amount of time, and then everybody else will follow suit.
What if every player in the game had to bet $500,000 of their own money for the winner? I feel like people would play harder at that point.
Full court, guys would be talking on defense, and guys wouldn't want to come out the game. I know that.
I'm bummed because I used to love the All-Star game because, as you said, whatever, it was an exhibition for 3 games, but like about 9 minutes left, it was really a nice snapshot of the league.
Yeah.
And it'd be like, all right, here are our 5 best. We're trying to win now. Here are our 5 best. Here are the 5 best on the other side. And it would actually became basketball. Yeah. And it was always fun for me to see, I wonder who the 5 guys are. What are they going to do? And now it's like the moment's gone. And
now it's like.
You guys are all friends now, too.
Yeah.
That's the other thing.
Things change.
You're all buddies now.
Time change. Everybody's close.
The Bird of Magic days. Well, you're not. Fortunately, you still kept some minor enemies, semi-enemies. So you're in the locker room with John Wall, and your teams don't like each other. What's that like?
I'm friends with John though, so it's when we're on the court we're battling, but when we're off the court we're cool. I've been cool with him since high school, so none of that extra stuff goes off the court with us.
Okay.
But when we're on the court, don't talk to me. I'm trying to win. I don't know you right now. That's how.
Were you following the Durant Westbrook stuff or no?
I mean, the whole world is. The whole world is. Hopefully, one of them talks to each other. I don't know.
It'll happen before 2050.
It definitely will.
2049, something like that. Were you in on the recruiting trip for him?
Yeah, with Durant.
To the Hamptons?
Yeah. The Hamptons, that was a nice place.
Yeah.
Never been.
The Hamptons nice. It's like Cape Cod, but even nicer.
That was nice.
Yeah. So you guys went and you told him all all the secrets for how the
Yeah, we
Celtics
told
played
him
the
everything.
Warriors? Yeah, and then he just took the info
told
like
him
an FBI
everything.
agent.
He probably had it on record too. We told him all. We tried to get him, but I guess that's what it takes.
So wait, I mean, you literally said when we play Golden State,
I mean, this
we
is how
do
we beat Golden
this,
State.
this.
This is how we beat Cleveland. When we beat those guys, and I mean, they probably don't care about it no more though.
Did you think leaving that you had a chance or no?
I really thought we did. I thought maybe if we had Al Horford in that meeting and he said he was already a Celtic, I think that would have gave us
A little edge.
I think that would have put us over the top.
Did you get to meet Tom Brady at least?
Oh yeah, that was the
OG.
best part about it. I know Kevin Durant, so I've talked to him and I know him. But Tom Brady, that was the best part about being there.
The GOAT.
Yeah, greatest of all time.
What was that? What do you remember from the Tom Brady meeting? This is just for me. I don't even care about the people listening to the podcast.
Everything.
That's
Like,
Tom Brady.
when you walked in, you just felt his presence.
Well, he's tall, right? You didn't
He's
expect him to
tall.
be like 6'5".
Yeah, I didn't know he was that tall. I didn't
Yeah.
know. You just felt his presence, and you felt there was greatness in the room, and it wasn't basketball.
Did he have the
players.
rings on? Any of the rings?
No, he was stylish, but he didn't have nothing on. He was just, I guess, being Tom Brady.
I mean, the city of Boston, can you imagine another city bringing a star athlete from another team in the city for a recruitment meeting?
No.
That sums up Boston.
Like when I seen Tom, I'm like, how the hell did y'all get him to come here? Like, I was surprised. That's when I went in like, yeah, we're getting him. We're getting him.
Right. Do you notice when you're at the home games? Do you look like Belichick was at that Cleveland game? Do you notice he was
I went
there?
to shake his hand. That was my first time. In the timeout, I went over there and shook his hand and shook his wife's hand. And like I said, I'm a fan of sports. So when I see guys like that, I think Edelman was at the game a couple nights ago.
Oh, Edelman's available.
I gave him a head nod. Like I like to interact with those type of guys.
Yeah. Explain the Floyd Mayweather thing to me, because he's now like the number one Celtics fan.
He is. He got Celtics gear too. He got.
He's like traveling on the road and stuff.
Yeah. That's my guy. A close friend of mine. I met him. I think it was a year before I went out for the draft. I went to go watch him work out in Las Vegas at his boxing gym, and then he knew who I was. He was a fan of basketball, so he knew who I was, and we met through mutual people, and then it was all she wrote after that. We support each other. He's a good friend of mine, a mentor that gives me advice on how to be great. So like even meeting like Tom Brady and sitting down with Kobe Bryant, like those type of guys I want to be around, because I want to one day hopefully be great and learn from those guys.
How many games does he come to?
He comes a couple a year. I mean, he comes a couple
Seems
in
like
Boston.
it's more than that.
He comes a couple in Boston. He'll be in Miami because he lives in Miami too. He comes to those two. He'll be in the LA games. Like,
Oh yeah, he'll definitely be there.
Yeah. So he comes to a few. Or if we play in New York, he always stops.
I like when he comes with his I guess they're bodyguards.
Oh yeah, those are the big guys.
And they stand behind his seats at the Clipper games. Like I don't know if you've been to a Clipper game, but Floyd's not in danger at a Clipper game, I don't think.
Definitely
it's
not.
the most mellow crowd that played it.
Definitely not.
But yeah, Floyd, it's a scene when he comes. I don't know how he gets the court sides.
It's a scene everywhere he goes. He's only sitting courtside. He
I
even
know.
came when I played in Phoenix. When I played in Sacramento, he was at the games.
That's probably easier to get the court sides in Sacramento.
Definitely in Sacramento.
Yeah.
And-
So is he on
and
the
Phoenix.
bandwagon? Does he think we can beat?
Yeah.
I'm gonna use we like
He's
him on
a
the team.
fan.
All right.
He's
Does
a
he
Celtics
break
fan.
down like afterwards? Like, man, I was worried about.
He'll try to break some stuff down, but sometimes I'll be like, okay, champ.
All right.
I got it.
What about Boogie? You friends with him at this point, or
Yeah. That's my guy. Boogie
were you
Cousins.
surprised that he basically got stolen for?
I was
a non-lottery
surprised,
pick, and
especially right after the All-Star game. I was surprised. But that's Sacramento for you.
the people can't see you smiling right now.
The people know I love Sac. Sac is, man, they love me. I love them. It's just,
All right, you have to rave about them this much. Like
I'm just saying,
all
I do
right,
love
Now you're
Sac.
making me jealous a little bit.
They show
All
me
right.
a lot of love. They
But
always
Boston's the
have.
best, but Sacramento's fine.
Boston's on a different level. So, When you talk about Boston, I don't know if there's any organization you can talk about when you talk about Boston.
The Boogie thing, does he have his revenge at some point? Does it happen in New Orleans? Does he have to be on a certain type of team?
He'll get his revenge. I don't know where.
What's the right offense for him?
Give him the ball and get out the way. He's unguarded. He's unstoppable. I mean, you can't do nothing with that guy. He can shoot threes now. You got to double him in the post. He can pass. He can do it all. So I don't know if New Orleans is the right place for him, but I mean, we'll all find that out.
Did you think there was a chance that he might end up on the Celtics?
I mean, you always heard the rumors. You just never knew if they were true or not.
What's the most misunderstood thing about him?
That he really is a good guy. Like people judge him because how he acts on the court, which he just wears his emotions out in his sleeve, and you can't fault him for that. Yeah, he needs to cut down on his technicals and things like that. But overall, like DeMarcus is a good guy, and he's one of my good friends. He's a total opposite off the court. Like joking around, always clowning on people, always. He'll light up a room. He'll make a room laugh, and that's the side people don't see.
The way it seems to be explained is he has very few people that he has a small inner circle, right? Very few people that he trusts.
Yeah, he don't.
But
trust
if you're in the
nobody.
circle, you're in.
You're good.
Because I'm out. He knocked me out. He's mad that I didn't vote him for All-NBA last year, and he blocked me on Twitter, and I'm just out. That's it.
Yeah,
he was my guy.
Once you're out, you're out.
He was my guy. He used to, on national TV, Jalen and I yelling Boogie.
Yeah, he might.
That was my dude.
You might have to send him that. Once you're out, you're
Once
out.
you're out, I'm out. I have no chance of coming
but
back.
If you're in there,
yeah,
he's gonna ride with you to the end. I'm in there.
In my defense,
there was times I wasn't in there though.
Yeah, what'd you do?
Because I'm the guy that they look to. I had to be the guy that just tell them when guys didn't, I guess, were scared to talk to him, or I didn't back down from him. But he respects me, I respect him, and we always had that relationship.
It seems like he could be a difficult teammate if it was the wrong type of teammate, right?
If somebody soft,
if somebody is soft is in trouble.
If you're soft, you can't be on that team.
Right.
You can't. You walk in this room and you're soft. He's gonna pick on you. But I mean, that's just him. It's not a bad thing.
What does that mean for a coach? Either you stand up to him or you're done?
You got to stand up to him. He respects when people stand up to him. I know that. Mike Malone, he respected him.
Yeah.
From day one. And Mike Malone, earned his respect. He didn't back down. And not saying they were fighting, but he just said, I'm the coach of the player.
Well, it seems like a little bit what happened with Cleveland. LeBron didn't seem like he respected David Blatt for whatever reason. Ty Lue came in. Ty Lue stood up to him, respected him.
I don't know that situation, but it seemed like that from afar.
You know, I was looking, there was some list of the shortest players in the history of the NBA, and people like basically 5'10" and under. There's only been, I think, 12 guys that were 5'9" and under, and you were by far the most successful of them. But when I watch you play, I don't think like you're 5'9".
I don't feel 5'9".
Yeah, I mean, you got long arms too, so
yeah,
it's like you're really like 6 feet.
Like when I'm out there, I feel like I'm just as tall as everybody else. Like kids always ask me that too. Like, how do you do it? When I'm out there, I don't see height.
Right.
I promise you, I feel like I'm just as tall as those guys.
How tall were you when you were like 15, 16?
Same height, probably like 5'7".
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's this picture of you and Kevin Love, which I'm sure you saw.
Okay. Yeah, I was small. All right.
You looked like you were a baby.
I looked like I was probably 10 years old.
Yeah.
And I didn't have the weight on me either.
Because I'm trying to think. I
was 15 then.
Yeah, you were like 15 or 16. I loved the NBA forever. And I'm trying to think of like smaller players that could exert their will offensively. One of the guys we had in the Celtics when, going game season tickets, Tiny Archibald.
Yeah.
And it was after he had torn his Achilles in Buffalo. But he was still good. He was like 85, 90% of what he used to be. That dude could get to any spot he wanted. He was probably like 6 feet tall, but he was lefty like you.
Yeah.
and was just a floor jet, but would bounce off people like you did, go in traffic. And then Iverson is the only other one that I feel like you know, you guys had different styles, but the same kind of. Iverson, first of all, was not. They always said he was like 6 feet. There's no way he was 6 feet. He's like, yeah, I was gonna say 5'10".
The tallest.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 5'10".
Yeah,
but same thing. Would just go in like a battering ram, bounce off dudes, keep getting up. So was he an inspiration?
Inspiration. That's who I wanted to be like. He was the best to do it, pound for pound.
Have you met him? Has he reached out to you?
Yeah, I talked. Allen Iverson texted me last night after the game.
Oh, so you're like, this is
guy.
huge. All right.
I'm telling you, I man, the great players, if I'm able to reach out to them and talk to them, I don't got no ego. I wanna pick their brains. And Allen Iverson is a guy I looked up to since I was a little boy. I wanted to be like, and for me to be able to build a relationship with him the last couple of years has been amazing. I mean, once he told me I was cut from the same cloth as him, and I remind me of him, like nobody can tell me nothing.
So when I checked out your background, you grew up in Washington, but then you went to prep school in Connecticut.
I went to prep school in Connecticut, South Kent.
Which is the opposite. It's about as far away as you can get from Washington.
And
what was that like?
It was horrible. I
You
hated
like
it. I mean, the basketball part of it was great because the competition was really good. But, I mean, I was across the country away from my family, all-boys school. You had to wear.
You was an all-boys school?
Yeah, you had to wear slacks, blazer, tie every day.
Yeah.
It was tough. It was different from what I'm used to, but when I look back at it, it was the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Was it 1 year or two?
2.
2 years.
It made me grow up, made me understand how to take care of my responsibilities.
Was it all boys school?
Oh, it was bad. It was horrible.
Did you guys at least get to go like a dance with the sister school?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, they had dances on the weekends, so all the girls' schools and boys' schools would meet. So, but I didn't go to those.
You didn't go to them?
I was so depressed. Like I stayed in my room. I stayed in the gym.
So maybe that was good for you. You're working on your game instead of.
It was great for me. I just hated it at the time.
Yeah.
I was 16 years old, away from home. Only friends I had was on the basketball team. It was bad.
How'd you end up there?
My grades. I needed to fix my grades in order for me to accept my scholarship to Washington.
And what made you want to leave after your junior year? Did somebody tell you were getting drafted higher than 60, or you're just ready to go?
I felt like there was nothing else. Like realistically, there was nothing else to improve my stock, like other than winning a national championship. But how realistic was that? Like I won 3 Pac-10 championships, went to the tournament 3 years in a row. I hit that game when I hit that game winning shot. That's when I knew I was out.
Yeah.
But they didn't say I was gonna be 60th. Like it was.
I remember being. Yeah, you should have been in the 30s.
Second round.
Yeah.
The beginning of the second was. It was probably no later than the 40th pick is what I was gonna be, and I was fine with that. Like I was like, I know the pros and cons of everything of the decision I made, and I'm gonna go with it. But I didn't think I was gonna be 60th.
When did you start getting bummed out? What pick?
I know the Lakers have 4 picks in the second round. I think the last pick they had may have been 56. And after they didn't pick me, because I worked out for them and they said they were interested. They really liked me. They needed some guards. After they didn't pick me, I didn't think I was going to get drafted. I forgot about Sacramento. That was my first workout.
Yeah.
So I wasn't even thinking about Sacramento. After they didn't pick me, I was like, man, I might not get drafted. That was going through my head. But then about around the 58th pick, my agent had called me and said Sacramento would pick me with the last pick, and I was fine with that.
What draft was that? 2011?
11.
Man, I'm pretty sure the Lakers could have used a younger point guard.
Yeah,
they had 4 picks? I didn't remember this.
2 point guards, Darius Morris and Andre Iguodala.
Oh, see, he does remember the people in the draft. I knew it. You tried to play I don't remember all the point guards. Yeah, okay.
They drafted them 2 guys. I know that.
All right. Can we win the title? I'm going to use we.
Yeah.
Okay. Why'd you pause?
I don't know. But I believe we can. I'm not going to say we're
I
going to.
think you can make the finals. Absolutely.
Yeah. And if you make the finals, anything can happen.
Yeah.
I got faith in this team. I think we can. We definitely need to get out the first round first. Like,
Yeah.
Figure
How about this?
that-
We need to win a playoff game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Figure that out. But I'm not going to put a ceiling on this team. Like, if we bring it, we can compete with anybody in this league.
I forgot to ask you about Jaylen Brown. I've become quite attached to him.
He's special.
People were putting him in trade rumors. I'm like, get him the F out of the trade rumors. We're not trading Jaylen Brown.
He's good. And he's going to be really good. Like,
He works hard, right?
He works hard. He's slowly catching on to how to play in the NBA game.
Yeah.
I mean, he got size. He's athletic, got size. He can shoot.
He's a fantastic defensive player, potentially, when he
And that's
figures it all out.
And that's what Brad and this organization is about.
Yeah.
A guy that can switch multiple positions, guard multiple positions. He's good. I love Jaylen.
I like that he's not afraid to shoot.
He's definitely not.
Normally
And
with
that's a good
rookies, yeah, no, that's what I mean. Like he'll play 15 minutes, but he's in the corner with 4 minutes left on the road.
Yeah.
And he'll shoot. He won't be like, oh, should I shoot this? He just shoots
He's not
it.
thinking twice, and that's a good. Sometimes you're like, Jaylen passed, but that's a good trait to have when he's not afraid of the moment.
He's super smart too, right?
Yeah,
Is he too smart?
he's not that smart,
Okay.
and that we joke around.
You make
we
fun
joke
of him?
around the team because he thinks he's so smart. He's not that smart.
How does it even come out on the
He
plane?
might be a smart kid in the academics and books and things we don't see.
Yeah.
We always joke around with him because he walks around like he's the smartest guy in the world.
Right.
And
Does he
he's
wear
not.
like those glasses to make himself seem smart?
Sometimes he wears turtlenecks and stuff. We joke around with Jaylen. It's all fun and games in our locker room, but yeah, he's the fake smart guy in the locker room.
Who's the funniest guy in the team?
Gerald Green?
Gerald Green. I wouldn't have guessed that one.
Hilarious. The loudest guy in the room.
Really?
Hilarious.
So good for team chemistry.
Oh, it's great. I remember we didn't have him when we played Washington when they wore the all black that game. He stayed back in Boston. He was hurt. Locker room was so quiet. Next game, he was back. You could tell when he's in the room.
Can you explain to people why Al Horford was a good signing? Because this is another test of like,
Yeah.
do you actually watch basketball or
Yeah.
not, or are you just like
And
casual?
like we said earlier, I mean, the average fan's not going to know. But he does things you're not going to – that's not in the stat sheet. His basketball IQ is so high. He's always in the right spots. He always makes the right play. He doesn't have to score to be effective. Like last night, I think he had 9 points,
Yeah.
10 rebounds,
Took like
10
6
assists.
shots. Yeah.
Like, I think how much money he signed for, people expect him to go get 30 points and 15 rebounds, and that's never been him.
Right.
Like, he's been a guy that's been under the radar, and he just goes about his business the way he does. And we're having the season we're having, and a lot has to do with him. He does everything for us.
And a good chemistry guy too.
Good chemistry. He's not worried about – usually guys that make that type of money, they're like, man, I'm not getting my shots. I'm not getting my – like he's not said one time, I need the ball. He's a hell of a locker room guy. His character is great. He's everything you ask for in a really important piece to a franchise.
It's a very unselfish team, which I think is by design.
It is.
I think they put a lot of thought into that. And I think it's one of the reasons why nothing happened at the trade deadline, which, I was a little disappointed by, but at the same time, not talking about getting a big player, but just like
I thought
everyone else was getting somebody.
Yeah, I thought we would do something, but that says a lot.
But I think they were really worried about, we like our chemistry, we like these guys, and we're afraid to mess with it.
They don't want to mess up. I definitely understand that. We have good guys in that locker room that have no egos. Nobody's jealous of anybody, and everybody just wants to win.
Last question. When do you think Brad Stevens becomes the president? Like 2040?
I don't think he even wants to.
When does he graduate from coaching and takes over the country?
One of these days.
How about like tomorrow? You'd let him go to take over the country
I
now,
would let
right?
him go and take over the country.
Right now you'd let him go.
It's bigger than basketball.
Yeah,
He could definitely go take over the country and make some things happen without even smiling.
See the best coach you ever had? Oh, you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. That's all right. So,
nah, he's definitely, yeah. He's giving me the keys to do what I want.
Great out of bounds plays.
Oh, out of timeout.
Really great.
He was doing some out of timeout plays in the All-Star game where guys was like, oh my gosh.
Oh, he was breaking them out?
Yeah.
That was free agent recruiting.
Yeah. Guys was like, and even in the locker room was like, man, he is special. I'm like, yeah, he knows his stuff.
So I heard he gave a good speech too to those guys at the pregame or halftime or something.
He did pregame. He gave a good speech. He had our video guy, Matt, put together a really good video of highlights of all the players from like high school, college, and the pros.
Yeah.
And LeBron, right after LeBron's like, I've been doing this All-Star game 12, 13 years, and that was the best thing we've ever seen. And Carmelo even said it too. He's like, it was dope. It was. They had highlights of when every guy started with like John Wall, high school highlights, then college, then NBA, and then everybody on the team. And
everyone was so inspired. They went out and played no defense at all.
No defense. No defense.
Somebody almost broke a sweat. They were so inspired.
Somebody.
God, we got to fix the All-Star game.
We will.
Isaiah Thomas. This was fun.
Thank you.
I'm really enjoying the season.
Thank you.
It's really fun to have. Listen, there's been all kinds of Celtic teams. This one's really fun to watch. It's fun even from 3,000 miles away. It's been fun to, the team always shows up.
That's good. Now
even when you guys can't make a shot, you're still plugging away. I still feel like down 18. What was that game the other night? That terrible Atlanta game. Yeah, just the team sucked, and it was like 4 minutes left. You're down 18. I'm like, I'm not turning it off yet. I'm not ready to give up yet.
It's crazy. That's how we always feel. No matter, we could be down. Even at halftime, coach will come in like, we've been down more than this.
Right.
We're gonna win the game, and like we always feel that way. I think that's just the attitudes we have.
Yeah. All right. Good luck with the rest of the season.
Thanks for having me.
All right, that was Isaiah Thomas. We have Shea Serrano coming up to talk about John Wick 2. There will be some spoilers in there, so if you want to bail on the podcast right now, my feelings won't be hurt, but if you want to hear a good action hero conversation and you want to hear John Wick broken down a little bit with some fun questions, I would keep listening. Quick break to talk about The Ringer NFL show. We sent the dudes to the Combine. Lombardi was there, Danny Kelly, Robert Mays, Kevin Clark. Free agency is coming up this week. The Ringer NFL show is on fire right now with all the football talk you need. And also check out theringer.com this week because we're going to be unveiling Mike Lombardi's series on video of how he would fix every single NFL team. Oh, yeah. It's going to be like Name That Tune. Remember Name That Tune where they were like, I can name that song in five notes. I can name that song in 4 notes. Well, if you're over 40, you remember Name That Tune because it was a popular show. But they used to have that show. Lombardi's going to do that for every NFL team. He can fix the Patriots in 5 moves. He can fix the Browns in 7 moves. So get ready for that. That's going to be on theringer.com. All right, right now, speaking of The Ringer, Shea Serrano. All right, as promised, the John Wick 2 conversation that you've been waiting for your entire life. Making his first appearance, losing his virginity on the BS podcast, Shea Serrano. How are you, Shea?
What is up? I am fantastic.
I don't know how you haven't been on the podcast before, but it's a massive error, and I apologize because
I look at it every week and I see the name of the person you have on there, and I just say, man, fuck that guy. I'm better than that every time. Every time I say it.
Well, we're going to fix that.
I'm happy I finally made it.
So, well, first of all, I should mention that I listened to you on the Ringer NBA show with Chris Vernon on Friday, and you talked a big game about the Spurs, and then about your favorite team, and then about 15 minutes in, you had a moment of weakness, and you caved, and you basically just admitted that the Rockets were better and that you hated LaMarcus Aldridge, and it was an incredible podcast moment. I don't know if a lot of people even heard that, but you quit on your team.
No, I did not quit on my team. I've been very on the record against LaMarcus since the trade, and also I think the Rockets are better. That don't mean I like them, but I just think I'm reverse jinxing it. It's like a super reverse jinx. I'm trying to put it out in the universe.
All right. I appreciate reverse jinxes. Let's talk about John Wick. We have 5 questions
Okay.
we're going to hit. Question number 1. Is it okay to take your kids to John Wick 2? Because I took my son last night. He had not seen John Wick 1. My son is 9 years old. I feel like he's pretty advanced from a movie watching thing to the point that now it's like it's too late. It's too late to protect him. He's seen too many horror movies. He's watched too many things on YouTube that we didn't realize he watched. And I was just like, I want my son to like action movies. I want him to get in the Fast and Furious franchise. I want to watch The Fugitive with him. There's all these movies I want to bang out. I think he's ready. I'm throwing him into John Wick 2. A little like how the Celtics are playing Jaylen Brown in crunch time now. Just giving him the start and see how he reacts. And it was the greatest 2 hours of his entire life. What did your kids think?
You know, I made that same mistake. I took mine. We skipped school. This is how bad of a parent I am. I was supposed to drop the boys off at school. We pulled up, and it was Friday. I said, you know what? You guys want to go see? They'd already seen the first one. I said, you want to go see part 2? Yeah, Daddy, let's go. We went. Now, I've got the twins with me, boy A and boy B. Boy A is a much more emotional kid, so he was the only one I was worried about. Boy B, I knew he was going to be straight no matter what.
Right.
And we go and we watch it, and I thought everything was fine, but this was when it came out, so it was like a couple weeks ago, and boy B, he hadn't said a single word. Or boy A hasn't, since like he just won't talk anymore. He won't do his homework because he don't want to pick up a pencil. It was a disaster on that part. Boy B is straight. We went, Bill. Listen, we went to a birthday party. This was like 2 years ago, and I've got the twins with me. It's a laser tag birthday party, so they're separating like parents on one team, kids on the other team. So A and B are on the other side, and I tell them like, y'all stick together. Because it's big and it's dark in here and whatever. They were like 8 at the time. And we go in there, and I'm walking around with my gun, like hunting these kids, and my buzzer just starts buzzing. And I look, and there's nobody there. I don't see anybody, though, not a single person. And then boy B, comes crawling out of the shadows, and all he says is, got you, Daddy. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, he just SEAL Team 6 to me. And so there's no brother around. I said, hey, where's your brother? I said, stick together. And I'll never forget this. He looked me right in my eyes, and this is what he said. He said, I'm on my own now. And then he just left. He just crawled back away. He said, I'm on my own now, and then was gone. And I saw A later. He's crying, just holding his gun up in the air like at the beginning of fucking Saving Private Ryan. Like he doesn't know what to do. And B is just picking off parents left and right. He was fine at John Wick 2. The other one is a disaster. No, the answer is no. Don't take your kids to see John Wick 2.
Yeah, I think that was my reaction too. As I'm all about the father-son bonding. I just feel like anything that is gonna be like leaves my son going, Dad, that was great. I love you. You're the best. You're my hero. is my goal. So we left, and he was just like, that was the greatest. Let's go home and watch John Wick 1. And then he started trying to pull me into that armbar somersault move that John Wick does when he kept taking everybody's gun. And he almost dislocated my elbow, and there's 100 people around, and he's fake shooting at me. And I'm like, so we had to have the conversation, like, you can't go into school tomorrow and pretend you're John Wick, right? You're not going to do that, right? He's like, no, I'm not going to do that. But I'm a little worried that, I don't know. I'm a little worried. It might have been a bad idea.
A good way to figure out if it's a bad idea is at the end of it, if your kid is fake shooting at you. Then you know you made a mistake.
That's true.
That's how you know.
Here's the thing. There's so many terrible parents out there that I'm not going to be judged. I still feel like I'm in the upper percentile, even if my kid gets kicked out of school today because he puts somebody in an R bar and tries to take their pencil. The pencil scene, I don't think I've ever seen him.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I don't think he was out of his mind. It's so good. John Wick 2 is even better than I was hoping it would be, which is the highest possible praise.
Yeah, it was fantastic. When that scene happened, I'm sitting next to B. We were doing the thing like when you see somebody do a big dunk in a game where you're like shoving the other guy. Like that's what we're doing during the. We were so fired up during that scene. Oh man, it was great. It was a great movie.
You know, it's interesting. There's been a lot of sequels, right? Especially with action movies. There's just been a shitload of them. That one, I think, mastered the element of, all right, here's everything that worked in the first movie and every reason we liked the first movie, and we're blowing it out. We're just going much bigger budget, much more ambitious, better actors. We're just going the whole way. Like, Ian McShane is in it, the guy from Deadwood. I think.
Uh-huh.
Who was the old guy in the first one? It wasn't nearly as good of an actor as Ian McShane.
Oh, I don't even remember him because
yeah.
I only remember McShane now.
Right.
Like in my head, it's McShane in the first one. That's how good he was. Yeah, everything that they did was better than the first time around, which was really like, how do you pull that off?
I don't know.
John Wick 2 caught you off guard, and it was good that way. And then, I mean, John Wick 1 did it, and then part 2 was like every single part. Like they just got a little weirder. They opened up that universe a little bit more.
Yeah.
Oh man, it was great. Don't take it, kids, though. Don't take it, kids.
Yeah, I would say the cutoff. Yeah, I feel like I'm going to be judged. That's fine. Judge me. Judge me. It's all good. So, all right, here's question 2. Has anyone ever had worse aim in an action movie than all the people that tried to kill John Wick in John Wick 2? The only one I can think of is Rambo 2, where like the Vietnamese people were within 5 feet of him shooting at him and just missing left and right. That's the only time I can remember worse aim by the villains.
Yeah, I think that's probably the closest comparison. I watched this TV show called Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah.
And they get into very close range gunfight, like in a warehouse. Every time they go in a warehouse, it's a gunfight, and they never shoot anybody else. It's really bad. You know what I was thinking about when I'm watching John Wick 2? So they do the thing where they just open it up and they say, okay, guess what? All these homeless people are actually assassins.
Yeah.
Everybody that you see is basically an assassin now. But when that happened, they sent like the flyer out and said, okay, there's a contract for John Wick, and people are trying to kill him over and over. And it was just like a woman jogging or a large Asian man walking by. They just happened to be like, they were really easy for him to kill. So maybe the requirements to become an assassin aren't that high, and even lower than that as a henchman. So you basically just need a gun. Do you have a gun? Cool, you're in our little league. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you also need to know some form of jiu-jitsu, it seems like. The karate, some sort of, you need to know a couple moves, and you need to be really fast with how you draw the gun. John Wick the other thing with John Wick in this movie, other than the terrible aim, is the bullets that he did take, he probably took, 11 in the vest? Over the course of the movie?
Yeah, in his suit, yeah, he had the stuff sewn into the suit. Yeah,
right.
He took a bunch of shots.
Normally, when this happens in a movie or a TV show, the guy gets knocked out or the girl, and they're just down for 5 minutes. Wick,
they're gasping.
John Wick, it was like he was going up for an offensive rebound and was just getting like kind of elbowed in the kidneys a little bit. He's fine. He's like still getting the rebound. He just, nothing would sway him. And I don't know. I just want to know, did he figure out the best possible bulletproof vest to buy, or is he just willing to just able to take a bullet better than basically anyone we've ever seen? I don't know. I don't know the answer.
I'm guessing he's just able to take that bullet because it's that very thin material, so there's going to be, you're going to feel it like a paintball gun.
Yeah.
Like a paintball gun stings.
Right.
If you hit me with a paintball gun, like I need a break for 4 or 5 minutes. I can't even imagine what those bullets felt like. I don't know, man. He's a badass.
Yeah, I mean, we knew he had a high threshold for pain because going way back to Point Break when he blows out his knee on the jump.
Yeah.
He was still able to move a little bit. So, going back to that. And then the replacements, he took some big hits. So from the standpoint of Keanu having a high pain tolerance, I was ready for it, but I can't remember that. Were you, by the way, just quick side question, were you okay with Common as an assassin, considering you wrote the rap book once? I
was surprised at how good of an assassin he was. So when it started, he's played an assassin in a bunch of movies.
Yeah.
Right? He was in Smoking Aces. He was in Wanted. Like, he's done this role before, but he has never been that good. The hand-to-hand combat scene that he had when they're on the stairs and they just find like 1,000 stairs to roll down.
Yeah.
That's probably the best fight scene of any movie of like the last 10 years, maybe.
Right.
Like, I can't think of a better one. It was incredible. He did such a good job.
Was that the same fight scene that ended up with them in the subway?
No, that's the second one. The first one, they're going, and then they bust through into the hotel, and they have to stop fighting.
Right.
And then they have a drink, and they're just there hating each other.
I love that so much.
The part when they're in the subway fighting, and John Wick is on the first floor, and he and Common is on the second, and they're shooting at each other while they're walking with the silencers.
Yeah.
Incredible. That was incredible. How did that happen? Whoever thought of that, they should get an Oscar. That movie should win Best Picture just for that scene. It's never been done before. Literally never been done. It was great.
The subway fight was also extraordinary. There's so many good scenes in this movie. Like I don't know whether I just love action movies, but I really left the theater in all seriousness, no irony, really feeling like it was going to get an Oscar Best Picture nomination. That's how good it was. It's one of the best action movies of all time. It's incredible.
There's nothing wrong with it. There are no wrong things. Every single thing was cool. There's usually one piece in the movie where you go like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But with John Wick, the only time I felt like that was at the very, very, very end. He says, send them all, I'm going to kill them all. Like he says all 2 times in a row.
Yeah.
And I thought that was kind of like, why did they cut it that way? But that's a super tiny thing. It's phenomenal. There's no getting around that John Wick 2 is a beautiful, great movie.
It's a creation of God. It's on the short list of most satisfied I've ever felt walking out of an action movie. The only other ones I can remember, Fast 5 was just an epic achievement. And
that was the movie when that franchise turned to like a serious thing. Like you had to start taking it serious.
Brazil.
That's how I felt after 7.
Yeah.
After they do the emotional tug at the end of 7, and you're like almost in tears. I felt the same way then walking out of John Wick 2.
Fast 5 is the one in Brazil. It's got that whole crazy chase scene at the end with the safe, and they're dragging the safe through the streets of Brazil, and it took the whole thing to another level, and I danced out of the theater. Another one, The Fugitive, which has really not dated badly at all, other than the fact that there's no cell phones. It's a movie that pretty much could be released right now, though there would probably be a scene where Harrison Ford crashes his plane. But you didn't get that joke. That was a great Harrison Ford joke. I deserve a courtesy laugh. But The Fugitive was fantastic. 48 Hours, I think, is way up there from walking out of the theater, but it's not a long list. And
No.
And John Wick 2 is on it, whatever the list is. So I'll have to think about it. All right, next.
It's hard to hit that. Does Creed count? Is that an action movie? Or are we counting that? Okay.
Creed's a sports movie.
All right.
All right. Next question. Keanu. So I did the Action Hero Championship belt on Grantland in March of 2014, which was almost 3 years ago. And one of the reasons for it was that Liam Neeson just owned the belt from the 2 Taken movies. And then he did Nonstop, which I thought actually was Taken in a plane, but is very enjoyable and very rewatchable on cable. And then Taken 3 was coming out when I wrote that piece. So he probably, even though Taken 3 was a little unsatisfying, keeps the belt through Taken 3. John Wick comes out. John Wick comes out October 2014. Keanu immediately just grabs the belt. He just takes it.
That's his belt. That's his belt when that movie comes out. No question. Liam also had the gray. He also had the gray. We can't leave that out.
No, I think we can. I think we can actually leave the gray out. No, I really think we can.
Oh my goodness!
I wish they had spent $10 million more dollars on the wolf, on the special effects for the wolf. Would have been nice to have been threatened by the wolf. Just the fear of there's a noise out there that might be a wolf versus an actual wolf.
I liked it, man. I liked it.
Last 2.5 years, has anyone else touched the belt, or did Keanu just get to keep it until John Wick 2 came out?
John Wick bought him a bunch of time. Like there was a lot of equity there for him. I think they're the only people you could maybe make an argument for. The Rock, he had Furious 7 in 2015. He had San Andreas in 2015. And then he had Central Intelligence, which was kind of an action movie, but mostly a comedy.
Yeah.
So there's an argument there. Chris Pratt, Magnificent Seven, Jurassic World. No, he's out?
He's out. He's
All
out.
right. What about Charlize and Mad Max? Does she get it for a year with that one? She's fighting dirt demons or sand demons with one arm, like they're missing an arm.
Charlize
had one arm.
Yeah, Charlize was pretty good.
She has one arm. What about Mel Gibson? Is it just like fuck Mel Gibson forever?
Yeah, fuck Mel Gibson forever. He's out.
All right, I'm with it.
I think you talked me into The Rock. I got to find out when San Andreas came out. I really like San Andreas. 2015.
Yeah, 2015 it came out. It was really good. That's like a fun action movie to watch in the theater. It was great. I mean, he's not that great of an actor. The scene when he's talking about his dead daughter, and there's just like nothing there. It's just like you're looking at a box of cereal. Like that part. If it was Will Smith giving that monologue, it would have been incredible. But I think all the rest of the part, he fits all the requirements. I looked at the article you mentioned. You had 3 rules for him?
Yeah.
Can he kick everyone's ass? The Rock definitely could. Would you go see any movie The Rock is in? Absolutely. And he's got a body of work over that span. I think he might get it.
I think that's fair. I think 2015, even though Fast 7, he's not in a lot of scenes. They put him in the hospital, but he has enough to keep it going and helps out in the end.
He's got the Statham fight. You got the Statham fight. The Rock versus Statham.
Right. All right, so if The Rock gets it through 2015 up through maybe he gets it for a year and a half, throw in a little wrestling, a little WWE action. Not a lot of action heroes could actually come into WWE. Keanu has it back. And, we have one more question. So Keanu has it now, and he's going to have it through John Wick 3, which we're going to get to in a second. This is important, though. Did the Bus Brothers see John Wick 2? Which, spoiler alert, the plot is this guy hires John Wick to kill his sister so he could have his parliament seat. Little chicanery there. Did the Bus Brothers see this and say, hey, we should get rid of our sister? Maybe not murdering her like in John Wick 2, but maybe we should try to oust her and get her seat. The math adds up. John Wick 2 came out 2.5 weeks ago, and the Bus Brothers staged their coup d'etat last week. Do you think they saw John Wick 2 and got the idea?
100%. That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what they walked out of the movie theater. They didn't say anything. They just looked at each other and then high five, and then they called the lawyers. Like they knew what was going down after that.
I totally agree. I think they probably talked to Keanu Reeves thinking he was a real person about some help with maybe, and then Keanu's like, I'm an actor. John Wick's just a character.
They were at home Googling how to get a marker. That's what they were. We need a marker. How do we get a marker? That was what they were doing. You're right.
All right. Last question. What's happening in John Wick 3? It seems like he's on the run. Everyone's an assassin. And he doesn't have the Continental this time. By the way, I would like to have the Continental in my life. I would like to have a safe place like that where I could just get protection, guns, whatever, money, gold chips, whatever I want. No, I can't get killed in the Continental. I think that's a bonus. I like the Continental. Bonus. But what happens in John Wick 3?
You laid it out already. He's definitely on the run. He's going to kill them all. He already told you what he's going to do. He's killing them all. I think what they're going to end up doing, though, because one of two things happens. He either has to take down the entire Assassin Federation, and that's the end of the franchise, or I really think the franchise has legs forever, like a Fast and Furious type situation. I think for that to happen, they're going to introduce a new thing. Like there wasn't a marker in part 1. They made that for 2 because they needed a new way to get him back in the game. So part 3, they're going to figure out some sort of way where he doesn't have to kill everyone. There's going to be a new a new marker, and then he goes, oh, I have this now, and everyone just goes, oh, okay, we're done trying to kill you, and then that's it. I think those are the only 2 ways it plays out.
I have a couple thoughts. I don't think his dog makes it out of John Wick 3, and in fact, I don't think his dog makes it out of the first 20 minutes. Yeah. He loses something in each movie, right? So, I don't know. It's a little ominous. He's just I just hope no dogs are harmed during the making of John Wick 3 is my only point. And I think that pushes him to another level. John Wick has to have something taken from him to really become John Wick. So that's one.
That's probably true. All
2, I thought about what you said. I had the same conversation with myself about how many John Wicks can they have. Could this be the next Fast and Furious? Because to me, Fast and Furious is a season ticket franchise for me, right? Where it's like, oh, Fast and Furious is out. Oh, season tickets for that. I'm in. I don't even care what the plot is. Oh, it's coming out on May 2nd? Great, I'm in. And I think John Wick is like that too. But the difference is, I don't know, Keanu's up there now in age. I think he's over 50. Yeah, he's born in
Is he really?
1964. So he's 52.
I had no idea.
So, like, Liam Neeson can go into his 60s because he's like 6'3" and he has like he's legendarily hung. So everybody knows that. He's got good balance from his enormous Johnson. Yeah, Liam Neeson. That's the word in the street. Packing heat.
How did we get to? All right.
It's just
okay.
it's the legend of Liam Neeson. Who knows if it's true? But I always figured that's why he had such good balance and Taken. But Keanu though.
What is wrong with you?
Keanu though, I think once he gets into his mid-50s, I don't know. I'm concerned. I don't know if John. I don't know. I don't want like an old geriatric John Wick. So maybe this is free and out.
Wait. Hold on. So Liam Neeson was good at karate because he had a big wiener? Like it just...
Great balance. Great balance. That's why he could move. He could pivot so quickly. He was a very good central force.
All right.
So
yeah, I think it's... I got to go.
All right.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Shea Serrano. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on. What do you have coming up this week on The Ringer?
I got a basketball column on Wednesday and then a non-basketball thing about... I went and watched Kong, which is really great.
Oh, good.
Kong. Go see Kong. Yeah, you can take a kid to see that one.
Oh,
There's
man.
only 1 or 2 curse words in it. And we'll go see it. And I'm gonna write about that. Basketball and Kong.
Your Wednesday column's called NB Shea. It also could
Yeah,
have
I
been.
don't know who came up with that. But, let me tell you, Kong, they don't show his wiener in there, but he's really good at fighting. So
I didn't want to see Kong's
we gotta
wiener.
wrestle that.
Don't flip this on me. It's my job to pass along urban legends on the podcast. Did you think about calling your podcast Shea BA, or did you settle on MB Shea?
No, that was Sam. Sam came up with that. You
Okay.
can thank him for that one. I didn't have any part of that.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll talk to you soon. Look forward to reading you on The Ringer. I'm sorry I had to break the news to you about Liam Neeson, but I feel like you'll be fine. And
right.
and I'm glad I'll see you in our support group for parents who took their kids to John Wick 2 and shouldn't have.
Amen.
All right, see you. All right, thanks to SeatGeek, our presenting sponsor. Don't forget to download the free SeatGeek app or go to SeatGeek.com. Thanks to thebblacktux.com. They'll help you create your look or choose from tons of stylish selected outfits starting at just $95. After ordering, your suit will arrive 14 days before your event. Try it on. Make sure everything fits. If anything is less than perfect, the Black Tux will send you a free replacement right away. To get started now, visit thebblacktux.com/BS and get $20 off your purchase. Again, that's thebblacktux.com/BS. Thanks to Isaiah Thomas. Thanks to Shea Serrano. We'll be back midweek on the Bill Simmons podcast. Until then.